I didn't quite know what Lighthouse was when my counselor first suggested it to me, and right from the orientation day, my kids felt at home here. They felt welcomed, and they wanted to come back. Here, everybody else is like them. Everybody is missing a parent, so it normalizes it.
Grief manifests itself completely differently depending on the age of the individual. So young children will grieve differently than teenagers and adults. And one of the mistakes that is often made is we as adults expect our kids to grieve the same way we are.
Austin was 2 when his dad passed away, and we were living with my parents when my dad passed away. That was a little bit more tragic for him, I think, than the loss of his dad initially, because it was somebody that he knew.
When I fully grasped the death of my grandpa, I started feeling like every time I smiled or laughed, I was putting on a mask. It was just fake.
I just felt like alone before Lighthouse because I didn't know anyone who had like someone that's dad died. People at Lighthouse know what we're going through because they're going through the same thing. It makes you feel better that you know you're not the only one.
What we do here is we let the kids realize they're not the only ones feeling that. They're not the only ones that are in the situation where I'm 10 years old and I feel I have to be strong for mommy or strong for daddy. That gives them the strength to realize they're not alone, and whatever other feelings they're having, that they're okay.
Children understand death and are okay to talk about it. The silence, like sitting in silence sometimes, is enough for a kid.
For my youngest, she really was able to come here and be with kids who were like her. And she also liked the fact that she didn't have to tell me what she did that night. So that gave her some confidence, I think, to come and be able to just talk about things with her kids and know that she's not the only one.
When something massive like a death of a parent or a sibling happens in the life of anyone, it shakes the core of your confidence. So when it happens to a child or a teenager, they're still developing who they are.
Well, my mom's name was Millie, and when I lost her, it hit me like a train. And I was always thinking I was the one who killed her and stuff like that because of her heart. Lighthouse helped me open my eyes because I was really stubborn. As I started making friends here, that's when I started changing in my perspective and my view about my life and what happened.
Our oldest daughter was 17 when she committed suicide, and our youngest daughter was 12 at the time. She doesn't really talk to us too much about what happened with Leah because she doesn't want to upset us. So I think she's almost trying to protect us, and so by coming here, it gives her an opportunity to talk about the things that maybe she's dealing with.
Yeah, it was just a safe place for her to say what she needed to say.
This is a safe place where you can come together with a friend and learn a little more about each other and ways to carry forward your grieving.
We start and we end group in here. This is what we call the pillow room. This room is the most important room in Lighthouse because this is where the children come and talk about the person who died. We had a young boy who was in our group one night, and he said, "I don't think my dad can come back. Can he?" And so I said, "And do you think your dad can come back?" And he said, "No." And another little boy in the group said, "But even though your daddy can't come back, he still loves you and he'll always be in your heart." And for me, that was more than any of the adults in the room could have said.
One of the most interesting things that I've learned since seeing a ton of children come through is how important the play is and how important free time is, and how you can see after a really deep conversation that we have how much more aggressive or excited the play is.
We're looking at grief not as a pathological condition or something to fix. You walk around the Lighthouse, you see rooms where children can play in sand trays. They can act out what they're wondering about because play is the way they make sense of the world. And so all of these multiple mediums that are available for children and teens at the Lighthouse are methods for them to express, to not have to hold it in.
Nobody should grieve alone. You need people to talk to, you need people to understand, you need people to feel the emotion or feel the pain that you're feeling along with you. and help you through it.
You have to acknowledge your grief and you have to work through it. There's no secret formula on how to do it, but you can't deny its existence and sweep it under the rug. You have to do the work to bring yourself to the other side of it. There's no textbook family, there's no textbook grief, there's no textbook situation. Lighthouse is open-ended and they're free to come here for as long as they feel that they need to.
I feel like I'm lucky that Lighthouse is available to me and my family. I don't know what I would do without it. It does help. It does make you feel better. And that says a lot when you're going through a time where you feel so